34701 is our SMS number, 34701. And if you'd like to tweet us or send us something on Twitter, at SAFM Lifestyle. Now, someone whose tweets have been flowing through all morning is no other than our chef of the day, Christina Patricios. Christina from the Odd Cafe in Greenside. She's been saying, oh, break a leg, I'm going on radio now, remember to take a picture, then just finish the food and dessert. You have been, Christina, let's be frank, you've been tweeting away all morning.
Yes, I have. Yes, I'm very excited about this. I've never been on radio. I'm not a chef.
But you are a chef, because we've just tasted this amazing, amazing beetroot soup which you have at the Odd Cafe. Moyeni, I'm giving you a spoon to taste it as well, because it really is delicious. You should try it with a little bit of bread. But before we go there, Christina, let's talk about the Odd Cafe. It's a new restaurant, bar, and art space, which is interesting, in Greenside. People are using it as a social meeting place. I read a lovely review about it recently. I think when it comes to eating food, you don't have to be, as you say, you're not a chef, but you're able to make great food. What counts in the process is the music, the design around you. So tell us a little bit about the interior of Odd. Yeah.
Thanks, Michelle. Odd Cafe started with a little idea in mind when I was in Madrid about 2 years ago. And I was walking around Madrid with my husband, Oresti, and we're looking at the art museums, Del Prado, and I knew I wanted to do something. And we said, okay, that's it. We wanted to do art. And he said to me, I think that's great. I think you need to find something else to merge it with. And with a lot of discussion and a lot of arguing to and fro, we said, okay, well, it's not just going to be art. We were sitting in one of the little tapas bars in Madrid, and we said, oh my God, what about tapas and arts? And then the idea just flowed, where we said, we took it a bit further. We said, what about design, art, music, food? And that's when things started really getting exciting for me. Basically, the challenging thing was to tie everything together. And while I was doing that, I didn't really feel excited. Something was missing. And I went back to my little black book that I always write things that I always like or enjoy or would like to do
which
before I die.
Which you've got in front of you, actually. I think you've got that little book in front of you as we speak.
Yes, I do. And one of the things I am very conscious about is recycling and where the world is going. And I said, oh my God, what about adaptive reuse? Let's tie in the design and the furniture of this cafe with the main emphasis of adaptive reuse, and that's when the whole thing started coming live.
So adaptive reuse would be reusing a material for something new?
Yes. Reusing old furniture, reusing old wood, pallets, stuff that's lying around and not being used, and then bringing it into a modern, beautiful, now trendy state.
Giving it a new life.
Giving it, yeah. So that's exactly what we did, and I think that is why we've had such fantastic reviews. People have gone mad. There's a lot. It's very quirky. It's very colorful. The art then plays a big role because we use it as a platform for emerging artists.
So let's talk about quirky and colorful, because in front of me I have this beautiful maroon-looking beetroot soup, which has the word odd written on top of it, which is fantastic, because now that's quirky and colorful. Moyeni, when was the last time you tasted a beetroot soup?
This is the first time.
And what do you think?
It looks like, what is it? A strawberry. It looks like a strawberry sauce, something like that. But it tastes like Morocco.
It tastes like Morocco?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the taste is like eating spinach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that taste.
Which is a great taste.
It's a great taste,
we had Morocco here in the studio the other day.
Mm-hmm. So
I have to say, this may well be the best beetroot soup I've ever tasted. Anything special about it in terms of what you've made?
Yes, in terms of how it's made, usually when people think of soup, they think of boiling everything. But what we've done, and I've got two fantastic managers at Odd, that we sit together and we kind of brainstorm and say, okay, how can we do this differently? Remember that beetroot's got a beautiful, rich color. And I said, well, let's throw in, and maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm going to, is sweet potato.
Why shouldn't you be saying this?
Because it's a secret. Okay?
Ah,
Not
okay,
anymore.
yeah, chef's secret.
But the sweet potato would then actually not stretch it out, but make it into more of a soupy kind of substance. So we don't boil it. We don't boil the sweet potato or the beetroot. We chop it up in a big tray with loads of thyme and about a cup of olive oil. And by the way, we only use olive oil at Odd. We don't use any other oil.
Yeah.
And then what we do is we take a broth, the normal carrot, celery, that kind of thing, boil it. Then we liquidize that after we've boiled it, and then we put the two together.
It's an absolutely, I mean, the smoothness of it is just delicious.
Yes.
It's really,
Thank you.
as I say, one of the nicest beetroot soups I've tasted in years.
Thank you.
Let's move on to what we have here in front, which is a bobotie. Now, there's a special story around the bobotie, which comes with the chutney that goes with it.
Yes. Well, bobotie is a traditional South African dish, and it's usually served with mashed potato and peas. But again, we took it a step further and said, no, in order for it to be odd in a way, we decided to make it into a pie and cover it with flaky pastry. Now, it's beautiful, it's comfort food. As you crack into the puff pastry, you can smell the aromas of the spices, the curry, the turmeric. And we do serve it with a gorgeous oriental chutney, which we developed at Odd. The oriental chutney is aniseed and pepper-based, green peppers. It's phenomenal. Unfortunately, I didn't bring it today, but it's usually served with it, and it just gets a little dollop on the side for people to...
This bobotie is interesting because the first taste is a sweet one, the second taste is almost a spicy one.
Yes, yes. There is a little bit of sweetness to it, which again was developed at Odd. It's not part of the traditional recipe.
You mentioned the fact that you are a chef, not a chef, that you didn't train as a chef, but that you're coming in and you're saying, well, our restaurant is called Odd, so we want things to be slightly off-kilter, slightly different.
Yes.
How do you come up with these kind of things?
Well, firstly, the word odd allows us to get away with a lot of things. It's a very, very broad, it's got a broad appeal because you can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
My son came up with the word odd for Odd Cafe. And so when we develop things, for example, our Fantastico breakfast, it's got ciabatta with slices of pineapple. Our bacon is skewed onto a skewer. And then we have 2 scoops of ice cream with chili sprinkles and maple syrup. Okay,
delicious.
so that has got an odd twist to it. The beetroot soup, again, no one really does beetroot soup. They do other traditional soups like minestrone and that kind of thing. And that is why I think it's a little bit more difficult. We don't have a huge menu, but what we do have, we're very happy with. It's fresh. It's made on the premises. We have our own homemade mama chili sauce, our own pesto sauce, which we make on the premises. We make our own homemade gnocchi, which is, we've got 2 types. The one is basil pesto gnocchi, and the other one is a cumin pear gnocchi with pomegranate.
Where does your passion come from? I mean, you say you didn't train as a chef, but you're just passionate about it, and your food is absolutely, I mean, admit it, Moyeni, this is an amazing bobotie, ne? Oh, mouth. Okay, we got the figure. There we go.
I think it originates from my parents, my mother predominantly. I am Greek, and my mother is always in the kitchen. She is always baking a cake. No matter who comes, there will always be cake in her home at any time of the day. So I think obviously it comes from her. And as I said, none of us are trained professionally, But I think if you have a passion for something in life, it just happens. It just flows.
We are unfortunately out of time here, and I know you've got a lovely dessert there it's white chocolate mousse.
Cheesecake with a biscuit base.
Well, we're going to get to taste it anyway.
Fantastic.
And I want to just ask you, if people are keen to find out more about the restaurant, how do they find it out?
Well, we are on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
We www.otcafe.co.za. Our pictures on Flickr. We're on Twitter.
We saw that.
And our telephone number is 011-486-3631.
011-486-3631, the Odd Cafe. Honestly, the best beetroot soup I've ever tasted, and truly a delicious bobotie. It's just gone 11 o'clock. Christina, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
and
so much.
And it wasn't half as scary as you thought. Eh?
No, it was fantastic. Thank you so much.
It's time for the news.
Mesh,
Yes.
I want to find out
Yeah.
between the sweet potato beetroot soup
Yeah.
or the bobotie,
Yeah.
which one would you suggest I start with?
I think you should start with the bobotie because the sweet potato beetroot soup is actually finished.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, I'm afraid it's being plowed through by Fast and Furious M&M here.
So I'm going to have
And
to
there is
go-
some chocolate, white chocolate cheesecake. White chocolate mousse cheesecake. So there is that. So you're not going to miss out on
No,
everything.
that definitely makes up for the soup.
We look forward to seeing you down here.
See you in a moment.
6 minutes past 11.